me. I figured out what Scott wanted. After it wasn't the dog, I drove by the house, I said, oh, he wants.
Deb Johnson is not going to be with us today. She's got this respiratory thing that's going around, and even though she's feeling somewhat better today, she's not better.
Yeah, it's a
So
bad one.
she won't be here today, she's very sorry.
Even
And she's wondering if there's someone who could take the minutes.
Oh, I'm terrible.
I'm terrible.
I'm terrible.
Is Ben coming?
I won't do it.
Huh?
You won't do it?
No, I'm not good at it at all.
Why don't we all take it and put it in a
I'm an
pile?
accounting person, not a secretary.
It's recording, we'll work on it, it's recording.
So how come the senior center's closed?
Because the
Kim will
school's
probably
closed.
do it for you if she
Yeah.
watches.
Yeah,
I'm not saying my kid
That's
couldn't
right, it's
come.
gonna be
no one
recorded.
can figure that out.
I think
They
we
should-
have
they were
one
open
major
yesterday, but
topic
they're
right
closed
now,
today.
first.
Oh, sorry.
Good afternoon, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 1:03. I've passed out the agenda and the minutes, and also a report that Jean has put together for us on our, on the treasury. Becca is with us again today from Parks and Rec, thank you so much. And Marie is here as a guest as well. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Jean, I know that you had asked to have the addition, to have the senior center, to have an item on the agenda regarding an addition to the senior center.
Correct.
Not the expansion, but an addition to the senior center. This is not here.
Well, I wondered if you were intending to put it under new business planning for 2024. I didn't know if that's where you were gonna talk
Right.
about it.
We can do that. I'll just put the word addition on there.
Okay.
Is there anything else that's not on the agenda that people would like discussed?
Yes,
Oh, good, Sherry, what is it?
just kick me if I get too mean. To close our senior center today is criminal.
So you wanna talk about opening and closing?
And I worded it wrong and I got bamboozled when I said a warming center because you have to meet federal regulations. But to close it today
It's ridiculous.
is absolutely criminal.
The notice should say closed for lunch. The building, I'm sure, is open.
Oh, I thought it was closed.
Well, it says on Facebook that it is closed. But I imagine that if I walked over there, the building would be open, but I have no idea.
Well,
Do you know,
Mary-
Becca?
Judy?
No, I'm not sure today.
It said closed, building closed on
It
Facebook.
said senior center closed due,
Okay.
because of that public schools was closed.
I'll walk over there if you want.
Yeah, I
You
will.
can't, because Mary just walked by, so it might be open because Mary's in it.
Yeah, there's a staff person there, it's open.
My
No.
understanding was that it was closed for any like programming that was happening.
It didn't say that.
Was my understanding.
It just said building, senior center
Closed
closed,
today.
period.
And I wanted to talk to Jennifer about that, she's the one who posted it on Facebook. Because I think that that's a misnomer. I believe the senior center is open, but there are no programs or activities, as you were saying.
Well,
And that's what it shows.
No, I think it's closed. If the schools are closed, it's closed. However, I have an issue because it states
Can you
that
turn
if
your
the
mic on,
senior
please?
center is closed, it will also be noted on their website. And that's where I check, is on their website, and there is nothing on their website.
Is that right?
Hold it,
Right
hold it,
here.
hold it, hold it.
Linda's right here, let's ask her.
And there was,
Linda,
Senior Services Advisory Board, we're wondering, is the senior center locked today? So if a senior was cold, they couldn't go in there, or is it open? No, it's locked. It's locked. Thank you.
Okay, let's go back and put
Thank you,
that
Linda.
on the agenda as an item. We shouldn't be discussing it now.
Would you like that under old business, since we have discussed this in the past?
Yes, that's fine.
Senior center opening.
Warming center or whatever.
Don't call it that, or we'll get the federal
Okay,
regulations.
senior.
All right, so
center
we've
opening.
added 2 items to the agenda. One is the senior center being open, especially during these temperatures.
Extreme weather.
And 2, discussing an addition to the building, not an expansion.
Make a motion.
and
With the-
also putting the closing on the website like it says it's supposed to be.
That would go under old business.
We'll put that on an
Under
opening.
Township
Yeah.
Warming Center, yeah.
Yeah, the one we just added.
All right, so
I-
with those two changes, can we approve the agenda?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there any public comment today? Marie?
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
Back at you.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Thank you. I will note that Ben is absent, he's been ill. I'll have to check on him later today. Approval of the minutes. Deb, I thought, did an exemplary job with these minutes. And it was a very difficult meeting to take minutes from, because of our in-depth discussion with Ryan. Can I just ask if everyone has had a chance to read these minutes? Then I'm going to just take a moment and let you read them. Are there extra meeting materials that Becca might have?
Yes.
If you would like to see these, Becca, you may come and get them. Thank
Ben's
you.
not here, you can have this one. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Usually at this point, we ask for additions or corrections to the minutes. And I would just like to reflect on the minutes for a moment and have us actually have a discussion about the minutes, if you don't mind. The first thing that stood out to me was that Ryan suggested that the Senior Services Advisory Board direct their attention towards additional services for seniors in our community rather than focusing on the senior center. Does anyone have a comment about that?
Too many.
I thought that's what we were trying to do,
I agree. And
so,
for me, the frustration has always been that there's no collaboration from the other end. That even though we've been trying really hard to bring programs and services to the center, because there's no collaboration or cooperation or communication on the part of the senior center or the administration with us, it's been very difficult.
to be one specific item that we tried to do, you tried to do, is with a collaboration with the library, which didn't happen because we were interfering.
Well, not only that, but the Clinton County Transit, I mean, the woman came to lunch, and she said she'd love to set up a route to bring seniors to lunch during the winter, you know, and she'd do it like a school bus, and, you know, I could never get cooperation from the senior center
Correct.
to meet with her, and I think that that's a real loss on the part of seniors in the community.
So I guess we're already doing it. Or we were trying to do it, now we are getting,
I was not here, but I have a question where he said the Senior Center Advisory Board should not be fundraising? Where are we supposed to get the money to build a new senior center if we're not supposed to be doing the fundraising? Did he answer that question for us? Did anyone ask it?
Yes, I think that's a really interesting comment and observation that you've made, Dennis. What he said was that the senior center, he suggested to us, but that the senior center create a Friends of the Bath Senior Center organization, and that the Friends of the Bath Senior Center be given all the responsibilities that we have tried to undertake ourselves, and that if we had a Friends group, it would be more successful than we are.
Makes no
That's
sense to me.
exactly what he said.
I'm not making that up.
No, you
You
are
said-
not.
you said
That's
it, that's
exactly
what I
he
heard.
said.
And then he said to me, Judy, can you talk about your experience with Friends of Park Lake and the township? And I said I'd rather not. We asked them for a boat cleaning station, a boat wash. I raised the $2,000 and put the boat cleaning station down there myself. We've worked with them for 10 years on the trail. We still have no trespassing signs on public property at the trail, and the trail still isn't open. And so I did not answer his question about how effective I feel Friends of Park Lake is as opposed to a group like Friends of the Senior Center, because I think it's very difficult.
And it would be the same people, we just have a different flag hanging up with.
Nancy,
I just recently heard that that property was given away.
the trail?
Yeah, down there where the trail's at.
Well, the, sorry, the county drain commissioner controls that verge, that green space next to the road. Do you know what I mean when you walk down towards the trail? And the county drain commissioner has worked with the legal team, and they are providing an easement, and they are giving it away, they're giving it to the township.
They're giving away that property to the township.
Uh-huh,
But the property that the township owns,
the property, the
they did
township,
not give away?
the township will own it then, yes. We don't own it
They
right
don't
now.
currently own any property down there?
Oh, we own all the property from the water control structure all the way around the lake to Park Lake Road. We own it all.
And that was not given away?
No.
Okay.
I see, Judy, I see our focus as drawing seniors into the senior center, not creating programs out in the community for seniors. Our focus, I feel, should be on creating programs and resources for seniors at the senior center.
I agree.
Oh, you know what? Now that, read this, attention towards additional services for the seniors. Like you said, in the community, but not at the senior center. Is that what you just said?
That's what he was saying.
That's what
I
this
was
says.
saying, I
Okay.
feel like those services should be provided at the senior center.
Okay.
We have a senior center that should be open 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. We have one active program, lunch. We have cards in the morning, we have euchre on Thursday afternoons, and we have bingo. But so we have all these hours that are not being used at the senior center that we could very effectively use at the senior center. And I agree with you, Gene. He was saying, I think, do programming outside the senior center, and I firmly believe that we should be trying to fill those hours
Right.
that are available at the senior center and not being planned for by senior center staff.
Well, haven't we been told that that's not our job? We're not to be
Yes.
doing that?
Yes, we've been told that in writing and in person to stay out of the senior center and not bring or collaborate with anyone to bring programs or services there.
Then how do we do
We've been
anything?
told not to speak to them.
We've been told not to address the seniors at the senior center,
Yep.
correct?
Pretty hard to make anything happen if you can't talk. And then we've been ordered, I was there, ordered, do not talk to the staff.
I think another thing that he said that I was personally, and I expressed this to Ryan, I think I sent you a copy of the email that I sent him, that I was very disappointed that I felt that our meeting should have focused on our accomplishments. We, for a group of 9 people who volunteer in this community, have accomplished more in a year than imaginable. And he, as I said, should have focused on our accomplishments. Instead, he chose to focus on the poor communication that exists between us and the administration and the staff. I do not believe that's our fault. And I was disappointed, and I told him that. I felt that the meeting should have been about substance, not rumors.
I think he was trying to remain neutral, and I understand that, but at the same time.
I could
I'm
be
with
very
you.
rude today, I'll tell you what.
That-
I could be very rude today.
You can be very rude today?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, with what's going on right now today, closing the doors over there, just infuriates me.
Well, it is knowledge though, Cheryl, that when the schools are closed, the senior center is closed.
Who decides that? Is that law?
No, it's a policy on
It's
the
a
part of the
policy.
township board.
But that was
Related to meals.
that was related to meals.
Right. And that's when we were serving meals 4 or 5 days a week.
And the place is still heated. Right now, it's costing just as much money. Some bodies would make it warmer.
Right.
To close it today is inhumane, period.
Well,
So anyways, he then, at the end of that comment, said he felt we should reset our relationship with Karen and the administration. So I reached out to Karen. I invited her to come to the meeting today. I asked her if she would bring her plan for 2024 to the meeting today. I sent you all those emails that I sent her, for those of you who read your email. I asked her to come to the meeting 3 times. The first time was right after this meeting on December 14th. Yet yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I had a meeting last night. Yesterday, I reminded her that we were meeting, I did it after the new year too, but I reminded her again that we were meeting today. When I sent out the agenda, I reminded her that 2 or 3 weeks ago that we were meeting today. And then last night again, or yesterday, I invited her again. And last night at 8:03, when I got back from my meeting, I saw that she had sent me an email last night that said that she had chosen to take a doctor's appointment today and would not be attending our meeting. So today, I emailed her again, and I did not send you this, but I emailed her again and Ryan, and I asked her I said to her, if your schedule is so busy that you cannot attend our meetings when we regularly meet, we would be happy, I spoke for all of us, to schedule a special meeting with you so that we could get things rolling again. And in her email last night, she said, Cheryl, I sent it to you. I left my phone in the car. She said that things would progress as they are, that she and Ryan and the Board of Trustees and Cheryl would work on plans for 2024 and moving forward. And until anything was decided or changed, if anything was decided or changed, when anything was decided, she would let us know. She would share that. She would let us know. And that if she needed our help, she would call upon us. Isn't that what she said at the end?
I'm trying to find the.
Anyway, so again, trying to reset the relationship, just kind of for background, when we had our community conversation, one of the issues that Doak recognized and spoke to in his report was the fact that there was poor communication between the administration and us. And he offered to facilitate a conversation between us to smooth the waters. He made that offer to me and to Karen. And so I said to Karen, I would be happy to do that. Do you want me to follow up with Doak and set this up? And she never responded. So we had an opportunity with a facilitator that we brought to the table. He made the offer, I followed up with her, and she refused to do anything about it. So I personally don't know how we reset a relationship. I've apologized to her in writing for how I made her angry. I know, Dana, you apologized to Taylor for how you made her angry. I don't know who else she wants or how she wants us to apologize to her. Personally, I think she owes us an apology. But anyways, I don't know how to reset the relationship. I've offered to bring a facilitator in, and she hasn't followed up with that. And that was a year ago.
Is there a staff person here today?
Becca is here. She's from the she's the recreation program coordinator or director?
Recreation coordinator.
Coordinator.
Now, is she our staff representation that is gonna help us? Is
He
because-
said in this meeting that Karen promised us a staff person to help us. I don't
and
know,
that's-
Becca, are you
Is that what
that?
Becca is?
No, not yet, possibly in the future, but not officially yet.
So,
It's just being discussed still.
so he requests that a staff person be present at our meetings. So he
Assured us that a
assured
person-
us that a staff person would be at our meeting. And I don't think, I don't mean anything against you, okay? I don't think you, or that your job is what he was asking for, or what we should have here.
Well, because Becca is in charge of recreation, she's not in charge of the senior center. She has no relationship to the senior center. I mean, literally, she might go in there, pick up a lunch every now and then,
Well,
but,
Judy, I don't think he necessarily said someone that has connection with the senior center. He just said a staff person will be attending our future meetings, will have some level of authority to affect change or address our concerns.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have that authority, Becca?
I
Not
mean,
yet.
technically, yes, I would, if I'm chosen to be that staff member, then yes, I could affect change. I have a recreation budget that I oversee.
Okay.
Before I could do programming that could be something in the future. It's just, as far as I know, still being discussed.
Okay, so number one, that Ryan promised us didn't happen, so,
Well, let me ask you this, were you requested or ordered to be here today?
I'm here.
By
to,
administration?
Like, just kind of be here to observe because.
On your
as part
own.
of my job, it's doing programming for the community and that also includes seniors. So I'm just here as a way right now for me organizing my year of programming to get ideas, to hear what you guys are talking about, that kind of thing.
so,
so would you like, did you want to be on the agenda?
No, not at all. I'm just here to listen to you guys and your opinions and hear what are concerns right now and current things going on that you're talking about.
so any programs that we think we might want to do, we could go through you?
Absolutely.
Sweet. Okay, thank you.
One of the things we wanted to
I
do.
mean, someone needs to let us know that that's a possibility, because I did not know that.
Yeah, my job is recreation, so farmer's market and recreation programming for kids all the way up to if you're 100 years old, if you're 3 years old, that is my job to provide programming to the
Okay,
community for the
so-
kids. So if you have ideas,
Like, we go to Bronner's every year, so instead of Nancy and I doing it, we could say, hey, can you set this up for community activity?
yep.
Okay,
Now, I didn't ever step out because I didn't want to step on any toes at the senior center for programming. But if you have ideas for senior events, you can come to me. Yeah.
okay.
We have lots of ideas.
Yeah,
Well,
I can help with that.
And one of the problem we had with this Frankenmuth trip that we do every year is suddenly Karen says, oh, you can't use the township vans or the township cars. We've always used them in the past, and suddenly, no, you can't use them anymore. We don't understand what's going on, why
No, and
that is.
he used the words, I think, if I remember this right, that you had to be an employee.
And we get 1099s, we are employees.
We are employees. So
We are
that's-
employees.
The reason they gave was not valid.
Okay,
At
so,
all.
Yeah, I don't want to make too many promises. or
No,
like
no,
how much
no,
step on
we
toes
don't-
over
no,
there.
no.
But like, I've had some ideas, like maybe walking soccer, maybe some more recreation programs that are available for seniors. So that's why I'm here, like, just
Okay.
to hear your guys' opinions, maybe get some ideas. But if you have ideas, yeah, absolutely, you can come to
okay,
me.
all right.
We have lots of ideas.
Yeah, thank you.
See, well, just like the last one that I tried, I've tried many,
Okay.
was to doing a gadget workshop at the senior center, where we could learn about smartphones and televisions and
Computers.
tablets and computers. And I went to the library because they have computer classes for adults, they have adult education. And they said they would love to come over and do that kind of a class. So I'll just put it on your lap because I was told to give it to, what was her name?
Jenna?
Jenna, she's gone now, I don't know if you know that, but she
Oh, yeah, I
she
know.
quit.
She's been gone.
She quit. We don't have a director anymore. Linda is stepping up and taking the duties right now, but, so Jenna was supposed to go to the library and I put that together. I don't know if she did because there's no communication. So that would be really fun and,
That is a real need.
Beg your pardon?
That's a real need.
Oh, it's huge, nothing bigger. Nothing
I had problems
bigger.
this morning trying to get my McAfee in place. Holy smokes.
Okay, we are still back on the approval of minutes.
So I would just like to make a note that on the minutes where Ryan's assured us that a person from staff would be attending our future meetings, didn't happen today.
I agree. There were just a couple other things that came across to me. Create a different committee to fundraise. Senior Services Advisory Board has no authority to direct spending and believes that the Senior Services Advisory Board should not fundraise. As you said, how else are we gonna raise money, whether it's for side tables for euchre or chairs or popcorn machine or things that we've had in the past that we've provided for the senior center. Suggested of effective ways of communication with the Bath Board of Trustees. Send an email to Brenda. Note, he says, do not communicate with Karen any longer. He said that. He said, we should send all of our communication to Brenda.
Who's Brenda?
She's our clerk.
Is that in here?
Oh.
Yes.
Brenda, okay.
Send all of our communications to Brenda with a copy, carbon copy to the Board of Trustees and to Karen, and that in that communication, it should say, quote, "We have taken a vote and we recommend ... And that is the only way we will get anything to the Township Board or considered by the board. I thought
It
that
doesn't
was,
say the board in here, it says, oh,
it does.
regarding our ability to effect, Ryan suggested sending an email to Brenda, carbon copy to the board, oh, and Ryan and Karen, okay, got it, my mistake.
Ryan wants open communication, and he gave us his cell phone number. I don't know if anybody wrote that down or not, but it wasn't in the minutes.
I wasn't here at the meeting, but what I'm seeing here is he's changing what we thought we were supposed to be doing. In other words, he wants us now to do the coordinator's job, the person at the senior center, what Jenna was supposed to be doing.
Getting
It
paid for
sounds
it.
like, yeah, getting paid for it. Sounds like he wants us to be doing that.
I didn't
Instead of
get
raising
that
the
from
We
him.
didn't see
I didn't
this
get
last
that from what
page.
he said at all.
Dana, do you have something?
No, I was just, I
secondary
stopped
group is
there.
Where's that at? I have to read this, I guess.
Yeah.
I missed this whole page.
Oh.
I went from 7 to 8.
Where did
Well,
I
out
see
the
that?
back of this.
Hang on.
He also said in there that he would tell us, he would provide for us information on how money was being spent at the senior center. We were talking about programs and how much money was available for things like bingo, and he said he would get that information to us as soon as possible, but he hasn't done that either.
Is there a reason? I thought he was going to be attending more of our meetings. Is there?
Well, when I tried to get him to come to the December meeting and he said he was booked and out of town, he wouldn't be able to, I said, well, what about the January meeting? And at that time, he said he would be here. Again, I have invited him as others, and he obviously chose not to come. Perhaps he thinks he did enough when he met with us in December, but I do believe that we should meet with him again. I don't think that was a very effective meeting that we
I
had.
think maybe he felt ganged up on. He's trying to be impartial, and I feel that, he just kind of felt like we were repeating the same thing.
He was repeating the same thing.
We were, and him.
And
both.
him.
Yes,
Yeah.
true. I think maybe if we kind of not repeat the same thing over and over,
Again,
I
I
would
think
like to
that
see him here.
When
though.
was the last meeting Karen was at, may I ask?
April probably.
So once this year, once in a year?
Huh?
She came once in a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that was my comment on the minutes. Does anyone else have any corrections or suggestions or comments on the minutes?
I did on Ben Barker, did he ever, I don't know if you've spoken with him find out about the missing chairs?
Well, there are 71 chairs for people to sit at the senior center, in the senior center. And we bought 85. Dana was on the committee that purchased the chairs.
So does he know
We
what,
have no idea where the chairs are.
no explanation?
Right.
Does that mean we need to contact
Brenda.
The home office, Brenda?
Send a message to
Contact Brenda and
copy it
ask-
to Ryan and
rest of the
Karen and
board.
Where are
whoever
the,
else.
where are the chairs? Yeah.
And request that the county or the township replace the 14 chairs. Right? That shouldn't have to come out of our senior budget. Of
No,
course, it probably
right.
would, but whatever.
All right, so back to the agenda. Thank you very much. That was a good discussion. I appreciate it. Taking notes on the back of my agenda, so I can't find my agenda, but here we are.
Approval of minutes.
Approval of minutes. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Second.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Treasurer's report. Dennis has had some downtime, and Jean offered to step in and help bring some resolution or shine some light on our treasury issue, and she did a really nice job with Jennifer. So Jean, you have the floor.
I did meet a couple times with Jennifer, and Jennifer was very helpful. And so I told her I really appreciated that. The one combining balance sheet, I took just the senior center column, and effective December 31st, 2022, the balance is $37,091. That will be updated after the April audit.
So this is 2022. Should it be 2023?
That will be done in April of this year. The audit for 2023 will be
So-
done. And then we will have the balance effective December 31st, 2023, after the audit's done.
Okay, so they wouldn't put the money that we made from the Dolly show in here until April?
It's in there. I just didn't, it's in there, but we don't have, until the audit is completed, we won't have the bottom line figure. That's what she said. And,
Well, this is a balance sheet as of December, so
Of
anything,
2022.
yeah, so anything that we've done should be added. It will have a different balance, correct?
it
Yes.
does. It should, and it does. And there's probably another number that maybe I didn't give her, so that she would be able to give me that balance.
You needed to give her numbers? For what? What was
I
that for?
had to give her the general ledger numbers. First of all, I had no clue what a GL number was,
That's where,
so I
They've
had
got
to
all new
ask.
numbers now, and a whole new number
And I
system.
called Dennis, and he didn't have the numbers, because they've changed them. So I didn't go any further into this, because I knew that the audit would be coming up and being done probably in a couple of months. So it didn't seem like we would need that figure for any planning purposes, but we will get them after the audit.
One of
What
the
was our
problems
Dolly
I
show?
had last year was every time I requested some information or some bottom lines, they kept saying, oh, well, we have to wait till the audit's done. That audit lasted all year, as far as I could tell. They kept using, that was their standard.
Well,
Response?
you know,
Response,
she
yes.
told me that the audit will be completed in April, and so then I would expect a combining balance sheet effective December 31st, 2023 to be available.
So she wasn't interested, able, or capable of telling us?
I didn't ask, Judy.
well,
I
if-
just felt this was available, and this was better than nothing. And
Well-
so that gives us an idea.
I don't think this is
When was
better
the
than
balance?
nothing, because this shows me at the end of 2022, what our balance is, was $37,000.
Versus last
So any money that we raised last year will increase
So it should
this
not be in
number.
this
But you
December
said it's already in
Right.
there.
It will increase it.
It is,
Actually, it's
it isn't, it isn't in there. I think that what Jennifer is saying is that they'll pull it out of the general fund, whatever the audit shows we earned, and put it on our balance sheet.
Okay,
Yeah.
but on 7/1/23, as fundraising and beginning balance of 6809, but I don't see that figure. Anyways, over here, I am totally confused by this. Oh, I do see something on this. senior center donation.
Are you gonna go to that one now?
Well, okay, I'll stick with this one. This does not make any sense to me. So this tells me at the end of 2022, we had $37,000 in okay, that's what we had.
Correct.
So in April, all of these donations from 23 will be added to this. Correct?
I believe so.
All right, I guess we will wait till April and see, but I don't think this is any way to run a business, because every
You know,
time
when
you.
I first went into it, I expected it to be, this is the beginning balance, these are the expenditures, this is the income, and this is the bottom balance.
Yes,
I have never dealt with this type of accounting. So it's not like that,
okay,
obviously.
all right.
But the
Okay.
fundraising and donations,
Now, are we going to this then? So we just have to assume for the last year that they're gonna add that to this amount. Correct? Assuming?
correct.
Okay. Okay,
Then the other fundraising and donation, transactions from July to December, effective December 31st, the balance was $7,929. Out of that, 550 needs to, and I didn't do this math, 550 needs to be deducted for the sound system,
okay,
and
Yeah.
$70 need to be deducted for the line dancing. And the
Deducted?
senior donation, Jennifer wasn't sure what that was. Since then, I have clarified with Judy that that is ours, that was Red Hat Society donation.
but see,
The
this one
five-
up here,
just-
but,
The 550, can we just stay on that for a minute, the 550?
Yeah,
The-
that's-
The Red Hatters had a memorial drive for
Correct.
Bonnie Alter, and they raised $550, and they gave it to the administration to buy a
For
sound system.
sound
Very
system.
specific
Correct.
purpose.
but it looks like, oh, that's a credit, and then you took it. All
So you
right,
need to take 7929 minus 550.
Why,
Minus
has that been
70,
purchased
so the
already?
bottom balance is $7,379.
Has that been purchased? Is that why you're taking that out?
No, it hasn't been purchased. We do not have a new sound system
Well, then why take it out?
The line dancing,
because it's not money
It's-
that we raised. That's her.
the 500 is not being taken out. The donation for the sound system is not income to us.
It's income to the senior center.
Right.
but isn't it right there as $500 donation, or is that something else?
That's the Red Hat Society for the.
The Red Hatters.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then you've got up here $550,
That was a donation for the sound system.
and that's the same one.
From the Red Hatters.
From the Red Hatters, for Bonnie Olger's passing, they donated $550.
No, they donated 500.
Sorry,
Okay.
500. My
Okay,
bad.
so you have it on there, receipt, senior center donation, you've got it on here twice.
That's
then.
why you have to deduct the 550. That is not going to be in the balance. And you have to deduct the $70 for line dancing. That's not,
Line
this-
dancing never has been a
no.
fundraising
So the
donation.
balance, the true balance effective 12/31 is $7,309.
Okay, so we're deducting the $500 because it didn't belong to the senior center, and we're deducting 70.
No, we're deducting 550, not 500.
Plus the
550.
70, for a matter of 620, right? Deduct 620 total.
Correct.
All right.
So which might mean that we have $44,400.
What's that?
Which might mean that we have $44,400. In April, they might tell us that,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
towards our
Okay.
$50,000 goal. Keep working on this, Jean, one piece at
Sorry,
a time.
Jean, because I'm totally.
Thank
Correct,
you.
But that's okay.
44,400.
So are you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, back to the agenda. Okay, new business.
Old business.
I'm sorry, old business. So we discussed the meeting with Supervisor Finwan Bliss, but I would like to ask, would you, all those in favor of meeting with him again, let me, say yes, or raise your hand, or?
Aye.
All right, we'll meet with him again. I'll send a memo to
Well,
Brenda.
let's get together and let's sit down and do specific, it's an illegal meeting, see if we haven't posted or something, so we can sit down and ask specific.
We could have a subcommittee put together specific questions that we might
I don't
raise
know.
with
Let's
him.
just do lunch.
I don't know that I would have a specific question.
I think
I
that
think
the,
we've covered them all, but
I think the question we need to ask is, what does he see our role as?
we asked him that.
I know he hasn't answered the question, in my opinion.
He said to
Okay, so
start
that should
another
be the
group.
only thing that we need to discuss with him, what
And
our
where's our
roles and
staff person?
responsibility is. No discussion about Karen, no discussion about any
Now,
other
where's our
committee.
staff person?
And where's our staff person? Just what our roles and responsibility documented so that we know what to do and how to do it and when to do it.
Well, and every year we do a strategic plan at this meeting. We can't do a strategic plan without without understanding what the board feels our role is, in my opinion.
Well, then, that's what we need, is we need our role and responsibility. That's it. And go from there. I don't know how else to do it.
It sounded like he really wanted us to just step back and make a new committee to do
Yeah, I
all the
thought that
things
was
that we
kind
were
of,
trying to do. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Just take all of us and put a different hat on and go over there.
Yep,
That's what I got out of it.
yeah. And we would have more authority than this committee does. And
Which
he
makes
said that.
Right, he did.
He
did.
said that the Friends of the Senior Center would have more authority about fundraising things than,
So do we have extra hat we put the Friends of from,
Is that a 501c3? In other words, do we have to set up our own bank account and our
Correct.
own, keep track of our own income and expenses, right?
Yeah, that's Friends of Park Lake is a 501c3.
Okay, I think Friends of the Library.
Library is as well, yeah.
well, is that something we want to do?
if we are this group, we don't have to follow any of the rules that we have to do in this group, correct?
We don't have any
Right.
rules.
We don't
That's
have
what the
rules.
problem is. We're confused as what we're supposed to be
Yeah.
doing. That's what our problem is.
Right.
It's changed since I was on this
Karen
committee
has totally changed it.
10 years ago.
Yep. So, an update on activities? Well, I'll call for a meeting with Ryan. I'll ask him to come.
And, well, but that's, be specific. We need our.
Roles,
and
responsibilities, and a
responsibilities.
staff person.
Yep, and the end of discussion. I mean, that should be,
Right, that's what I have down here.
okay. Is everyone else okay with that, or am I just? ruling
Everybody's
on-
nodding their head, so.
Okay.
And
Because
if
there's
he
no reason
cannot,
for us to
if he
go forward.
cannot attend our meeting, if he could provide that in writing as an
Why-
alternative.
Why don't we go to him and have him tell us a place and time and we'll all go? If it's possible. Before a board meeting, after a board meeting,
You mean not have him come here during the middle of the day because it's his work day?
right.
That's fine with me.
I mean, and we wouldn't have to have the whole committee, would we? Just enough to take good notes, and he should have documentation of what he wants us to do.
Yeah, well, we should be able to meet with him right here.
Okay.
Okay, update on activities, 6B, any updates? How's euchre going, Nancy?
going great.
And they have,
About 5 tables. It's really good.
good, and I hear they're having bingo for money on the 26th of January?
I hadn't heard that.
Once a month, it's on the calendar at the senior center.
Oh,
It's on there that it's cash bingo.
Only once a
And we did have a group, and cards are going well on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have
Hand and foot.
like 14 maybe?
Yeah, I played
Last
one day and
time?
there were
And,
not that many.
When other people show up, like me, if I showed up.
It appears that most of
14.
the activities at the senior center right now have been initiated by non-employees. That's
exactly.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you're right. And shouldn't it be an employee, actually?
Well,
Because
that's
it's a
what we were
senior center
told.
activity?
That's what we were
Then
told.
also there was a group that came in one day and we played a game. I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, we arranged that. you know, so we knew there were gonna be 4 or 5 of us that were gonna play a game the next day. So we did that, one morning, and I'm going to put a note on the bulletin board if anyone wants to learn how to make those grocery bags, the plastic bags, I'd be happy to set that up. So I'm gonna put a note on the board. If anybody would like to, just let me know, and then we'll agree to meet on a Tuesday or Thursday.
How about Scrubbies? Do you make those?
I did. Mhm. I've got the recipe.
I've
I've got the directions.
I would like to learn how to do that.
Okay, well, I've got scrubby
crochet.
yarn too. Huh?
That's crochet, right?
The one I have is crocheted,
And
yeah.
So
also
let's
Bridge
set
showed
a-
up.
Let's set up yeah,
For scrubbies.
yes.
Okay.
This is not our job, but by God.
See, Rebecca, we have this.
It's not that it's not our job. It's just that it's available and what are we interested in, and get a group together and just go do it.
Yeah, we need to put
Because
activities in there.
that
on
building
those
is
days.
open, we can play cards or play a game or.
Basically,
do-
you're doing it as a senior center and not as an advisory board member.
Correct,
Right.
correct.
So Becca, we do have this issue. We have hand and foot on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 12, 11:30. And then on Thursday afternoon, we have euchre. And then the main program that we have is lunch, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the only other activity or program that is over there is bingo. And yet we have these hours,
And they've
9
done
to 5.
ukulele.
We have the hours in the afternoon on Monday. We have the hours in the afternoon on, we have all day on Tuesday. We have the hours in the afternoon on Wednesday. We have the hours all day on Thursday,
No, you don't.
except for euchre, in the morning on Thursday, because we have euchre. But there's a lot of hours, and there are a lot of things to do, and people are not drawn to an empty building. People are drawn to a building that's active and engaging and fulfilling. So we need to fill those hours with stuff to do. And as you can see, we've been doing that, but we've been told not to do that as a group. So we're doing it as individuals, but it's still terribly difficult. Well, the seniors have been asking for popcorn and a movie since before Jenna was hired. And we've been told at the last meeting, which was a year and a half later, that because we don't have a copyright or something, we can't show a movie. But why can't I bring a movie in that I love and show it on a DVD player, on a CD player?
Unfortunately, it still opens the township up to a lawsuit, which is a very stupid rule, but it does. But it sounds like, just as a little comment of hearing you guys, I think it's very admirable, like how much effort you guys put into ideas and support over there.
Oh, we gave them 80 ideas last time.
But, what was that?
We gave them 80 ideas last time.
Well, and that's the thing, is I know I've said today that, like, you know, you can come to me, but like, if you could come up with like maybe, it sounds like there's a lot of frustrations about not being able to get things going, is what I gather. If you view an idea that you've had as like a recreation event, that you think it would fall under something I do, I'm absolutely more than happy to hear it. Just to give you an idea of some programs that I do, so you know kind of like that area I work in. It's like for kids, I do Little Sluggers, and any sports for the kids I do. I do holiday events, so the holiday market, Easter egg hunt, the buck pole, all that stuff I do. So it's like events, it's recreation, it's like Zumba for adults, things like that. So if you have anything that you feel like falls under that kind of category, absolutely, come to me, bring me that idea. I can work with you on it and try to get that going and make it happen, and yeah, help you out with that. So I'm just.
And then it's important to try to schedule activities at times when others aren't there. I mean, like we did this great program on cooking for one, and it was the same time as hand and foot. And a lot of those hand and foot people would have liked to go to that cooking for one, but they're in their game. We used to have a woman who came in on Wednesdays and did yoga, chair yoga. I went 2 or 3 times, there were like 8 people there.
April Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I actually was in contact with her to get that going again.
Yeah.
Set up and she was volunteering her time.
And she said she has better attendance at the senior center than she does at the community center, and she would like to do it more often. And the seniors loved it.
Yeah, she was, last time I spoke spoke to her, she was kind of in between because the senior center, according to her, was kind of posing a little bit of a space problem. She felt like it was better space over at the community center, which I leave that up to the instructor, what they think is the best space for them to have their class in. And so but I encourage you guys to also think outside the box. That way, it doesn't all have to be at the senior center, absolutely. But if you think of something that might be, you need more space for, use a different space for, we can absolutely do that. Like if we want to have an event at the community center, I can throw that on the calendar, I can plan it, it can be used there. If you want to have something outdoors, like, I'm just throwing around the ideas of maybe like, like walking soccer over at the soccer fields, or maybe like doing a snowshoe group or something over, like on, there's options that I've just been kind of spitballing. I don't know if it's gonna be well received yet, but, just there's other ideas outside the senior center too. So if you can think of anything in the community or using any space that's a recreation group, event, anything going on, go ahead and let me know. I'm open to any and all ideas.
If you call the library and ask them about that tech class, could you ask them if they have that copyright for their movies?
Actually, I'm in the process of talking to them right now. So my mom works at the library, actually. I talk to them quite often. We're talking about doing a movie in the park series this summer, and I'm going through a process of getting a copyright for that. They have bundles, so I don't want to talk about too much too soon because I don't want to get people excited if something falls through, but I'm in the process of working on a bundle of copyrights, so maybe like in the range of like 3 to 5 movies that we would be allowed to show.
Yeah, can you throw the senior center into that?
Well, that's the thing, is it could be, because it would be bought by the township for township use. Up to, I think it depends on the amount of people, so there's like one for like up to 50 people, there's like 50 to 500 or so, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I'm in that process right now of working on getting a bundle with the library and working with them on a joint movie in the park series to bring to the community. And that would be for everyone. It'd probably be a kids movie, but the bundle would include other ones too.
Yeah, if we could include the senior center in there, that would be fantastic. I mean, as long as you're working on it, we might as well get the senior center. Yeah, get the senior center in there as well. I mean, people would love a movie a month, I'm sure.
And there may be more room at the community center, but it's also an issue of transportation, because either the Clinton County bus drops them off at the senior center, or friends bring them, or 2 or 3 people ride together. And so it's like, how does one person get way over? I mean, it's a distance, So it's really better for us to have programs at the senior center.
And obviously that would be the focus for obviously senior programs. I was just saying if there was something that comes up that maybe the space, there's an issue, or timing, or scheduling, that we can make it work using other places also, is all I was saying.
I think that's great, Becca. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll have a little spot for you next time on the agenda. We can brainstorm some stuff with you.
But yeah, brainstorm my emails I'll bring my cards next time too, and so I can hand them out to you guys, but I've got work cell and my emails on the website, and easy to find. Yeah, just get a hold of me if you got an idea.
Great. Thank you so much, Becca. Anything else on that? Okay, now we're going to talk about the senior center opening. I believe that the township board passed a resolution early in September, well, it was in August last year, that the senior center would be open 5 days a week, starting the day after Labor Day. And at that point, it was said that they would do that as a pilot till the end of December. We discussed that in this group and with Ryan, and when I called the week of New Year's, I was told by the cook, the dishwasher who was answering, who was there staffing, she said, not to worry, Judy, not to worry. The senior center's going to be open 5 days. I know you're concerned about that, but we are going to be open. That was from the dishwasher's perspective.
Well, it was in the budget.
It is in the budget, I know that. It was passed 5 days. But why it's closed, the doors are locked on a day like today when it's 20 degrees below zero, is completely irresponsible in my opinion.
more than that, more than irresponsible. It's the same with
What
the
did-
pollution.
What happened at the board meetings about the center being a heating and cooling center? Didn't they agree to that? That it
No,
would be?
no.
But it was my fault, I worded it wrong.
Right.
I said, make it a cooling center. So what
Okay.
Karen took that out of there, and she said, there's all these regulations to be a federally recognized cooling center, so.
She
threw it
started
away.
by, excuse me, but she started by addressing the township board and saying this would cost $60,000 to $66,000
To do.
to have it open as a cooling center to meet the federal
But to
regulations.
close the doors is a whole different issue.
So do we need to, is this something that we need to recommend to the board, that the senior center be left open for heat exchange and cooling exchange?
It should
Well,
never
or
be
township.
closed
Should be
for
open.
weather reasons, period.
Dana, I don't think you can have two different policies. Their policy right now is if the schools are closed, the senior center is closed.
Correct.
That takes any guesswork out of it. There is no guesswork. Well, I
Well-
wonder if they're open today, you know?
Well, if the school is closed, the senior center lunch program is not available. That's what it should
No.
say.
That's what it should say.
That's what it should say.
Yes.
And the senior center should be open from 9 to 4 for
5 days a week.
5 days a week. There's got to be some kind of wording and policy put
Without
in place.
exception, basically.
Yeah, unless there's a
For-
burnt down or something. No weather, smog, fog,
Well-
whatever.
But then they also talked about if you had a problem and were caught to come here and sit in this room where there's nothing to do. So I know they discussed that too.
But you know, if you make it that way, then that means that the township employee has to get through that any kind of weather in order to come and
Or we
open the
call somebody that
building.
has a four-wheel drive truck and drive in.
Pardon me?
Was the township open today? Oh, yeah, it was.
And they've been open every day, haven't they?
Yes. It's just a matter of unlocking the door.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I thought they
township employee,
decided they
uh-huh.
didn't have to have an employee there.
That's what she said. That's what Ryan said, I think. Was it
Didn't
Ryan?
need an employee there for it to be open for weather, I don't want to
So we need to request or maybe come up with a different wording.
Correct, besides cooling center
Yeah,
or
right.
heat.
Well,
that word?
besides they're closed when the schools are closed. We want to come up with something different than that.
Well, yes, and I think this is a perfect example that we need to take to the board.
You bet.
Say, this is our recommendation that the senior center be open.
Well, last Friday,
Well,
there,
you changed the
the
wording.
roads, there was nothing wrong with the roads until about 2 or 3 o'clock
I
in the
know, they
afternoon.
were waiting, they were anticipating the storm, correct. So I think this is what we need to take to the board.
Are you making a recommendation? Are you passing a motion, making a motion?
Well, we don't have the wording set up yet, so I guess I will make a motion as soon as we figure out that the senior center lunch program is canceled if the Bath School are closed.
Only the food is canceled.
Only the lunch program. But the center will be open for,
Normal hours,
Activities.
activities.
no, you don't want activities because.
not?
Are you gonna
hours.
come out on Thursday and have the center open? Are you gonna do it if the schools are closed? Doesn't
Depends
affect
on
it.
Thursday, I'm gonna be here.
Okay.
But, you know, hey, it can be any activity. If a person wants to come in here and knit or crochet or, you
Or
know,
if their
it's just
furnace
a.
went out, or they have no power, there's so many
Do
reasons.
crossword puzzles, jigsaw puzzles,
So how do we wanna,
coffee, chat.
Yeah.
Get
I want-
warm.
I wanna read the newspaper and I wanna have my coffee and a donut.
which you haven't got yet, so.
We got the
That
newspaper.
That the lunch program will be
It's closed.
canceled if the schools are closed.
Yes.
So simply
So,
change the
okay, then
wording.
just, simply change the wording. And then I guess if you want to, all other, lunch program is canceled if school is closed. And but the center will remain open between 9 and 4.
9 and 4, 9 and 5.
9 and 4. It's
That's
9 and
6
4 right
hours.
now. It's 9 and 4 right now, right? Or
It's
10,
9 to 4. I believe.
9 to 4.
Or is it
Don't
9 to
change the
5?
Okay.
hours. And,
So 6 hours days, not 8.
correct. And this should go to the board as a recommendation.
So it says, the senior center lunch program is canceled if the Bath School District is closed. But the senior center should remain open from 9 to 4.
Will remain.
Correct.
And do we need specifically to state in there, all activities, but can be used as a warming center if?
No.
or-
Don't
We
even use that
wanna
word.
go there.
Don't use that word, because that's what she got me on
Okay.
before.
Because
So,
if it's open, it is.
It's heated, because their pipes will
It is a
freeze.
warming center if it's open.
Correct.
And in the summer, if it's open, it is a cooling
cooling center,
center. Just
correct.
don't call it that.
I agree.
It's also,
So is the township open on
Small
snow
center.
days for schools? Yes, it is, except, okay, well then the senior center shouldn't be any different.
I agree. That's pretty
I worked
simple.
for GM, we never closed I think 2 times in 30
How about if
years.
the senior center will be open 9 to 4 when the township offices are open? That eliminates the question about lunch.
That would exclude the holidays.
it would say
Well,
close.
holidays, the office is closed.
Right.
So-
Right.
On
I don't know
federal
if you
When
wanna
this
Holidays.
is
The
closed,
senior center
is the
could be-
senior center closed?
I don't
always?
know that you want to relate it to another thing. You're already saying, if this happens, this is going to happen. I don't know that you need a third person in there. If you just say lunch is canceled if the schools are closed.
But the senior center remains open.
Senior center remains open
9
for
to 4.
activities and
Normal hours.
normal hours.
So the senior center lunch program will be canceled if Bath schools are closed. But the senior center will be open from 9 to 4.
And I don't really understand why
The
that-
senior center lunch program will be canceled if the Bath schools are closed, but the senior center will remain open from 9 to 4.
Same as the township offices.
Beg your pardon?
Same
Don't
as the
even add
township
that in there.
offices.
Don't add a third thing in there. Don't.
Yeah, don't bother, it doesn't really.
Does everyone support this?
Hell,
Support.
yes.
Do you support what I just read, your motion?
Would, say, okay.
The senior center lunch program will be canceled if the Bath schools are closed, but the senior center will remain open from 9 to 4.
Yes.
You should not put anything
I
in there.
second that.
You shouldn't put anything in there that if the township offices are open, the senior center's open?
No.
I don't know.
They might get COVID again in there and shut the offices.
Oh.
Dennis seconded that. All those in
Okay.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. And what would you like me to do with this?
It needs to go to the board.
So I need to send it to Brenda?
Yes.
And also,
And-
And
please,
this is-
please request that she put the closings or the cancellations of the lunch program on the website.
Oh, yes, and this must be put on the website.
Because it says it would be on the website.
Because what
The
we,
senior center website.
The
But we
Bath
talked-
Township website.
Becca, do you know how to access the senior center website?
No, the Bath Township website.
The township website, not our senior center website.
Our senior center is on
The township
the
website.
township website,
So you want it on the township website?
correct.
now, isn't what we just did and approved and going forward, isn't that exactly what Ryan told us to do?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we really can't talk about our roles and responsibilities right now beyond this because,
We don't know.
we don't have any leadership, we don't have any direction. New business, planning for 2024. Again, this is the meeting at which we generally do our strategic plan, but because we don't have any cooperation yet from the township, I'm gonna not do that.
Okay.
But 2024, in 2022, we asked for $5,000 to hire an architect. In 2023, we held the community conversation, we hired the architect. The architect actually reached out to me, interestingly enough, the day after the budget was passed, to say, I haven't heard anything from the administration since we did our presentation in front of the board in July. What's going on, you know? So I had to tell the architect that, I mean, he wrote to Karen, he wrote the email to Karen, not to me, because she signed the contract. We didn't sign the contract. He is the township employed contractor. But Karen didn't answer him, so I waited a week and Karen didn't answer him. So I answered him and told him exactly what had gone on. I also indicated that there is a desperate need, as he knows, to expand the kitchen. And that I hoped, in this email, I told him that I hoped that Karen, and I sent Karen this email as well, that I hoped that Karen would reach out to him when she was ready to talk about expanding the kitchen. In the meantime, we still have an ongoing problem, that is that we don't have enough room for activities and events and big luncheons. And Jean had an idea, which she brought to me, and I'd just like her to put it on the table, and then I had an idea, which we can talk about. But Jean, do you want to talk about what your idea is? You even took a tape measure out there.
I did. I got a tape measure out, and I measured from the door, the north door, to the west wall, and it's 17 feet. And so I thought, well, we went after the whole kit and caboodle, we didn't get it. So now let's go way back, because really, what we need is an additional room for activities, an activity room. So if we could go out, the original expansion was gonna go out how far, Judy?
I think it was 18 feet.
18 feet. If we could go out 18 feet, and my thought was going out to the north, 18 feet. And we could leave our card tables up, we could move the puzzle into that room, and we wouldn't have to put everything away every time. Now, I know Judy came up with another idea. My thinking of going to the north was, we don't need to worry about expanding the kitchen, another bathroom, another kitchen, meeting rooms, nothing. Just a room, just make a room. And the reason I thought to go to the north is, in another generation, when they decide to expand the kitchen, it won't be in my lifetime, but when they decide to expand the kitchen, then this expansion would already be there, and they could then just expand the kitchen and do whatever they're gonna do, if they're gonna do that in the future. But going from the door west does not interfere with the shed that's already there. So we don't need a basement. The medical equipment could still remain in the shed, but I would like to get in touch, or someone to get in touch with the contractor to find out what it would cost just for an addition, a room.
And that's no basement, that's just flat.
No basement.
Right.
No.
So also, while we're talking about additions, we have a deck out there, which Al and Rick Curtis and a few other people in the community volunteered to build. So we have a structure already there. And Nancy asked you to look at this the other day when you were in there, that even if we add to a little bit on one side, would also do the same thing, provide us with an addition.
Enclose it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Enclose the deck and put 5 feet on the end, so we get that 17 that you're looking for. Already has a ramp up to it, right? It does.
There's a ramp up to it?
The deck
Yeah, it
has a
does.
ramp up to it
Okay,
as
yeah,
well.
all right.
So I think these are both, and also I think that because the infrastructure is there in the deck area, the township board might look more favorably upon that than digging a hole and putting an addition on the other end of the building.
And I think that's where the contractor would come in. What would it cost if we did it here, and what would it cost if we did it here?
Right. So there are two things involved. One is the design. Obviously, it's a building. I mean, we're drawing 17 feet by whatever. And then I think that you can't go to the, I don't know that the architect would be able to give us the cost. In order to get the cost for the addition, the expansion, I went to a builder, and the builder gave me those costs. We didn't pay him for that.
Okay.
But I think
So a
it's
17 by 17-foot addition, what would it cost?
right. So I think it's possible that we can get those numbers. on both your suggestion and then the deck suggestion. And I think that, I personally think that we should move forward on that, but that's just Jean and I talking here. I mean, I don't know how the rest of you feel about it.
Well, Jean talked to me about it, and it sounds like a great idea. You're adding square footage, and you could also use that area for lunch if you had to, and the capacity would also go up. For fire, it's, you know, the building capacity would go up.
And how many more people could we accommodate by
I don't know that.
17 by 17? That's a
The
question,
fire
though.
department, yeah,
Yeah.
would have to decide
About
that.
300 square feet, it's not
And there again, this is a wonderful idea that we should do the same thing with and take it to the board and see what the board thinks about it, whether we should pursue it.
But we've got to have an idea what it's going to cost.
Well, we don't have enough money, do we?
A builder would be able to give us some kind of an idea of what a 17 by 17 foot addition
Without
would be.
getting paid for it?
Well, my builder didn't get paid to do the projections for the cost for the building. I mean, he put a lot of work into it. I was really proud of him, but I mean, just as an example, you can see all the work that he did. He called, just pass one of these down, he called, I need them both back. He called local contractors, you know, he did the right thing, but, I mean, I have a move-in date.
I'm sorry, what?
I have a move-in date.
Oh, yay!
So after February 8th, my builder won't be busy with me. So I could ask him, you know, but right now he's single-focused to get my house done.
Oh, lucky you.
But that's February 8th, that's 2 weeks away, so I mean, after that, before we meet again, I might be able to get him
Well-
to do that. So,
Should we do it?
I think we should.
Make a motion then, girl.
I'll make a motion that we move forward and get an estimate from a contractor, builder, whoever can give us an estimate on a 17 by 17 foot addition, approximately 17 by 17 feet, both from the north and to the west.
You know, I second it.
so now it's time for discussion.
I almost think that going to the west, because we already have that sliding glass door there. Well, we have a door to the back one too,
Yep.
so.
But I measured up to the door.
Oh, did you?
I didn't include.
So you'd have to cut you'd have to cut an opening in the sidewall to do it at the area that Jean is suggesting. Marie, you're anxious to say something, I could see it in your face.
I'm waiting for public comments.
All right, all right.
To move that forward, so the only comment I have on that is Jean has a wonderful idea, there's no question. But I have an issue without a basement. And the reason I have an issue without digging under that is because you've always had issues with your popcorn topper, couldn't find it. You couldn't find a basketball, you couldn't, so your storage would be specifically for the senior center. But the idea is fabulous, I agree with that, but I do think it needs to be.
And we could get an estimate with a basement and without a basement.
Without. The basement is the cheapest room that you'll ever build. It truly is, I've built 2 houses, and it is the cheapest of all of what you do. So it's not as if that's going to run you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But it is worth checking into, because the storage is really important for the senior center. Always has been. So you might as well have your own.
Thank you, Marie. Are there any other comments from the group? It's been moved and seconded that we,
So can I amend my motion?
yeah, I'm just going to read it, and you can amend. It says, Jean moves to get an estimate for a 17 by 17 addition on the northwest side of the senior center.
The north side and the west side,
Two
Two
different.
different,
with a basement, an estimate with a basement, and an estimate without a basement.
I thought we're saying they really do need refrigerator and freezer space.
You know what? We don't need that for an
We don't,
activity
okay.
room. And like I said, if they want to do it and the kitchen wants to pursue it, and someone else wants to take up the fight, let them do it in the future.
And you know, if we put a basement in with storage, we don't have to have that shed out there either. We
That's
can
right.
Get rid of that.
Right.
Right, and it
And
provides
it's
shelter.
shelter for tornadoes.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we get an estimate for a 17 by 17 addition to the north or the west side with and without a basement.
Correct.
Will you support that, Dana, with that amendment?
Yes, I do.
So Dana seconds, and we've had a discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Aye.
All right. I don't know why this thing keeps flushing on and off. All right, let's see. Do I have this back?
One more
One more back?
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes, yes. Coming down.
And while we're talking about that, I would like for the administration to provide to all of the new members of the township board all of the information that we worked on last year, whether it's a community conversation and the results of conversation, the drawings for the new building, which of course I have here, and the building estimates, so that they know what we did last year. We have at least 2 members on the Board of Trustees who were not here when we did this work before, last year. All right, so superintendent's report, 2024 plans for the senior center, replacing the coordinator and being open 5 days. Can you shed any light on any of those things, Cheryl?
I missed the last meeting, so no.
And you have not been in, she has not been in communication with you about her
Oh, no.
plan for 2024? And what about replacing the coordinator?
I didn't even hear about it.
Does anyone have a phone that they could see if it's, if the job is posted on the website? I know last week when I learned of this, I was gonna reach out to some friends and, ask them to apply, but it wasn't posted. Karen has been ill, has she not, Becca? Been out of the office for,
I've been out a lot, I've had a few funerals that I've had to attend, so I've been out a lot, but I believe, yeah, she's been ill, and I think there is a little bug going around, so.
yeah, I don't think it's life-threatening, but I know that she was going today to a follow-up appointment. So I don't know if she's had time yet to post this position. And
And
she quit over Christmas break. She never came back after Christmas break. And so Linda, who is our greeter, is running bingo, greeting, taking the money and running bingo on Friday. And she's quite nervous about it. I'm sure she would, last Friday when we had bingo, she was very nervous about it. Nervous, I guess nervous, anxious, you know, it was her first time doing it, you know, and so anyone who could have experience and help her, it would be helpful.
I anticipate that they're gonna have an easier time hiring a coordinator now, because in the past, the problem was always not enough hours. Now they're gonna be able to give more hours, because if we're open 5 days, then
It's not posted.
Still not posted?
No, only things posted is a firefighter volunteer and a police officer full-time.
Yep, that's what
All
Nancy
right,
got to.
so it's still not posted, so she hasn't made any decision about that. I know that in the past, you know, we've been asked by the superintendent to have input into that process. I don't know if we'll have that this year, this time. Okay, Board of Trustees update?
She missed the last meeting. so
Nothing
she
new.
doesn't-
All right, so, public comment.
I already did, well, actually, I did.
No, you can sit right there, Marie, it's fine.
I appreciate that. The thing I didn't understand was the role of this Friends of the Senior Center. It wasn't quite.
Role of us, I think more was the question. What's our role in,
What was your question, Marie?
whichever,
My
I,
question is, how does that, who determines this new committee that Ryan was talking about for Friends of Senior Center Advisory Board?
It was two different groups. It doesn't have anything to do with the advisory board. It's just Friends of the Senior Center. And they would basically be a fundraising group, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
with
Basically
autonomy,
what it is.
with some autonomy. They didn't, it would not have anything to do with the advisory board.
So the answer to that question is Ryan came up with that idea?
No, I get that, I just didn't understand how that worked for you to do a full-time committee. That's not even a
No.
subcommittee, that's a permanent committee, right?
It's it would become a nonprofit organization. It would be completely autonomous.
With a 501c3
Mhm.
kind of issue.
Yeah.
So that falls under who monitors, what, they monitor themselves?
This has nothing to do with the township.
Oh, so who creates it?
Whoever wants to create it.
Oh, my.
Oh, okay.
And anybody can join it, anyone from the community can join
It
it.
depends on how the organization is set up. I mean, it could be a member-based or, it could be,
No, I get that. So in other words, well, I won't be the dead horse. All I'm trying to figure out is how that fits in, but it doesn't fit in. It's this whole separate, but the money they raise or the money that they work on goes to township.
No,
No,
no, it does not go to the township, it's theirs.
it
It's
has to
their-
be turned into the
Their
township.
own.
no, it wouldn't, no.
No,
Doesn't even have to be turned in.
No,
No.
it doesn't go
No,
anywhere
they have,
near.
a 501c3 is an independent.
Right.
Oh, okay, all right.
They can't touch it.
They just name themselves Friends of Senior Center. I mean,
Right.
it could be Joe Blow's whatever, because a 501c3 names itself. It's not anything. So that's what I guess I was.
It has a board of directors and it has an elected board of directors
Yes,
by
it
the
does.
members.
But it's not responsible to the township.
no,
It's
Nope.
a separate entity.
Yep.
correct.
So what does that have to do with the senior center?
Well, it sure lets the township off the hook on raising money and paying for an addition. What if the Friends of the Senior Center decided to raise the money and pay for the addition? Nothing has to come out of the township budget.
The senior center goes to this group and do the same kind of thing you do with the board. You present your program, you present what it costs, and then they make a determination to raise the money.
Friends of the Senior Center do.
Okay.
Now, I'm assuming they would have to go to the board at some point if they're going to do something to that building, because that building is a township building.
Huh. That's just an.
But if they come with a proposal and the money,
It's
The
kind of like,
township is
it's
gonna
kind of like
look at
the history committee for Bath saying they want a museum and they want it at James Cousins Park and they'll raise the $1.5 million of,
Except the
and-
township gave them like 20 grand.
yeah, well,
Okay, so, I mean, that's what I'm trying to, never mind, I won't be dead horse. I'm still working on trying to figure that out when it was brought up, because it's a heck of a lot more complex than,
it's a lot more work than we're doing.
no, I wouldn't say that. I said organizing it would be more complex, or how they operate would be more complex
It's expensive. We'd have to have a lawyer.
than what you do. Okay, no, my other thing had to do, hang on, oh, the key. When in fact, you open it 5 days a week, which is what it should be. Is there a specific master's key that's used for that someone has, or is that just something, who opens it?
well,
DPW.
I don't know, but Friday, when it was.
DPW,
When it was closed Friday, I came in to pick up the key to go over and pick up the bag of cards because I had cards at my house on Monday, because they were going to be closed on Monday. I didn't take the bag of cards on Wednesday because I didn't know they were going to be closed on Friday. So I came here and they did give me the key and I went over and opened it and got the bag of
All right,
cards.
they have 11 holidays that the township is closed. So in that process of having it open, is that key available to someone someplace?
I have one.
to the senior center.
Okay,
But if the township offices are not open, is the senior center going to be open?
No.
that was a question.
And
No,
that's
it
why
should-
you wanted to add that, and I said.
Yes.
Because it should be open.
Well, we,
Because-
on holidays, do you think?
Sure, I mean, that's, unless
Yeah.
someone wants to celebrate Martin Luther King Day on their own, I mean, that's, there are
Well,
other
Hey,
holidays.
leave it open, I'll come have my Christmas party there.
There you go, okay, nope, that was my only concern. If you,
Like, I had a key and I seriously thought about opening it today.
okay, so.
But no one
Sue
would
me.
know it, yeah.
Just go ahead.
So the key is available, it's just a matter of who has it. Okay, that's,
But then are we gonna have to pay somebody to come in and open the door and close
The
it at 4?
DPW can do that.
but if
Well, we
it's-
don't pay them on holidays. They have that day off too.
Right, their holidays are, because like I say, there's 11 holidays.
I would
Right.
think that those.
I don't think the senior center should be open on holidays.
No.
Number one, if you know it's a federal holiday, you know it's closed, so you're not gonna drive out. You know, like I did this morning, drive up here, and, I did last Friday, because it was not on the website that it was closed.
You're right, although this morning I did see that Bath schools were closed.
Yeah.
I did not see that last Friday or Monday.
The school was open on Friday.
Or Monday or Tuesday.
No,
No, it was closed.
closed on Friday.
I think so.
In
Anticipation of the storm.
anticipation of the storm.
Oh,
But I don't think the senior center should be open on federal holidays.
On holidays, you suspend it with the family anyway,
gee,
so.
I think you're
Yeah.
just speaking federal holiday, because feds, I work with
But
feds.
God, let me have the senior
They're
center and
closed
I'll
on
open it up
Columbus
to my
Day.
whole family.
They're what?
They're closed, they fight me, state's not.
That's
I
right.
think you meant state holidays.
State holidays?
Well,
Yeah,
just,
instead of
what
fed
about,
holidays, because they are different. There is a difference
Okay.
between state holidays and federal holidays.
and maybe we should add, except when.
So then is the
during
township
holidays.
closed on
And
federal
holidays.
holidays and state holidays?
I don't think so.
No, it is not. So
It
we
comes
have a
back
closed day
to
off.
if
I
the-
think, I know you were saying 11, I think it's 13.
Is it 13 now?
Um,
It could be with Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
Probably
so we
is.
had Juneteenth, they had a Juneteenth.
Yeah.
13, you're right.
And,
So there
yeah,
are
and then Martin
13.
Luther King Day, and then Memorial Day, Christmas, New Year's, get the 2 days, the Friday and Monday, it falls on those, the 2 days, the Thursday, and Friday for Thanksgiving. I could go through them all, but,
Yeah.
yeah. it's-
So are they designated as federal holidays or state holidays?
State holidays.
I think so. It's not the one that includes Columbus Day, and there's like one more in there, two more in there, yeah, I can't remember
I
what
think
it
you
is.
should have a part of
But,
every
yeah.
holiday.
They are, I mean, if you want to get a list, like I
The only
can
problem is you have to
email
rent
you a
the
list of the
building.
days. We have, yeah.
I don't think you can carte blanche say all state holidays. I think you'd have to look at them and see what's important and what isn't for
Well-
the vast majority of the senior.
But when you say
I kind
all
of think
state
that if it's a
holidays,
federal
it's-
holiday, people would assume the senior center was not open.
Yeah,
Are a federal holiday?
State holiday, federal holiday. I mean, I don't know the difference. I would assume we all have the same holidays, but,
Should we list them?
Post office is closed on the federal holidays.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we're not closed on federal holidays.
Really?
State, yeah. So you'd have to look at them and really pick and choose which ones you would do.
I'd say just
what does it say now?
I looked up and it said, it's saying it's, Michigan calls them public holidays, is their wording, it looks like. And those are all the days that we have off. It's New Year's, Martin Luther King Jr., President's Day, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day,
Oh.
Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, 2 for Christmas, and then
New Year's.
New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
But the township closes either the Friday or the Monday before that. So we actually have more days closed than what you have.
But yeah, I think it's 12, 13. I think it's
Yeah.
12, 13.
You end up, but anyway, that's
Thank you.
my thought with it.
Anything else, Marie?
God. You're sorry, you asked me.
No.
Let's see, we already talked the basement, we talked the keys. No, I think that's,
Thank you for being with us today, Marie. We appreciate your attending and your support.
am I out?
And Becca.
Thank you. Anything, do any of you have any comments that you want to make at the end of the meeting? No? Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for your time, your attention, your wisdom, your thoughts and your ideas.
Becca, thank you for joining us.
Yes, Becca, thank you. And we'll put you on the agenda. Can you come to our next meeting in February, Becca?
I believe so. I am going to Hawaii for a family member's
Oh, wow.
We're envious.
Darn.
We're envious.
Yeah, nothing like dropping names or states. Dropping states.
It has to be, up to our winter, right?
I was gonna say,
I went to Taco Bell to get a taco for lunch, and do you know that their senior drinks are free?
No, I was gonna ask you,
Well, I
do you have,
didn't either. I ordered a
they're not
small
wheelchairs, but
diet
they're wheelchairs you
Pepsi.
push.
Or a
Transporter
senior
chairs.
diet
Transporter chairs.
Wait,
I have
just
two
wait.
excellent ones, so I
She
just
picked
bring
up
them
on
over
the
to the
senior
center.
when I said
Uh-huh, they love
senior,
those.
and
We might
Absolutely.
even have three,
off.
because they were really good ones, they from some other diet.
Yeah.
that for a long, long time.
Yeah. I had that for my mom. I had a transporter chair.
Yeah.
I took it to the senior center.
You gotta order something.
And they're
yeah,
lightweight, yeah.
I don't,
But I didn't
And,
know that, and
it
that's
was
a big,
given away,
pop.
given out
I won't
right
order
away. I mean,
pop.
people are looking
I know.
for this kind of thing.
Did we ever find out if
that is it.
Yeah.
is there anybody with
But
the
that's
basement that
enough
lets
for
that
me.
damn popcorn? I keep hearing about it.
We have a new pump. They bought us,
have a new one.
they bought us a new one. It's not big enough, but they bought us a new one. It isn't as big as the one we used to have.
Okay. Pretty reasonable, at least it always was, their prices have come up just like everywhere else.
I had to tell him no, did he tell you I told him no?
No, I haven't talked to them.
Show me how.
When did you tell them?
Well, last night. Well, I told him before, I said, I don't want to do land use.
Oh,
So,
I get it.
yeah.
See you at 7.
I don't know if I'm going tonight, but there'll be other people there.
Yep.
So